Just as Agile has core values that teams must adhere to, Scrum has its own set of pillars that act as a foundation for Scrum teams. I'll go through the 3 pillars of Scrum in this video. Let's start by looking at the theory behind Scrum so that we can learn the various methods and understand why they're effective. First, what is Scrum? The Scrum Guide defines Scrum as a framework for developing, delivering, and sustaining complex products. That means a team can use Scrum to create valuable products for their users, even when the environment or industry they're in is hard to predict and there are many risks. Scrum uses an iterative and incremental approach. Iterative refers to the fact that project processes are repeated. We discussed this a bit in the last module, but as a reminder, iterative means that the project works in time boxes or iterations. Incremental refers to the work being divided into smaller chunks that build on each other. The product is built over time through work done during each iteration. Each of these instances of the product is called an increment. Iterations and increments allow us to keep checking in on our progress throughout the life cycle of the project. This helps us become more predictable and manage the uncertainty in our project. Scrum is founded on a scientific theory called empiricism. This is a fancy word for a simple concept, that true knowledge comes from actual lived experience. The Scrum founders emphasize that we shouldn't try to assume that things will go exactly as planned or try to predict the future in an uncertain world. Instead, if you're using Scrum, you're ensuring that each decision you make in your project is based on real experience and hard data. So each iteration and increment is understood as a mini experiment where we can learn really valuable things to help improve the project. Empiricism is built on 3 foundational pillars. Those pillars are transparency, inspection, and adaptation. And they're also the 3 pillars of Scrum. First, there's transparency. Transparency means that we make the most significant aspects of our work visible to those responsible for the outcome. Everyone must be transparent. This includes everyone from Scrum team members to senior sponsors, and even our users. It's easier to be transparent with a small team, and luckily, Scrum teams are deliberately small, ranging between 3 and 9 people. This way, you avoid mixed signals, breakdowns of communication, and unnecessary complications. Transparency inside a Scrum team is critical to the team's productivity and the project's completion. In terms of transparency outside of the team, being transparent with all stakeholders, including customers, sponsors, and management, builds a level of trust between everyone involved. Transparency also encourages more collaboration and fewer mistakes. The second pillar of Scrum is inspection. Inspection refers to conducting timely checks towards the outcome of a sprint goal to detect undesirable variances. This means that we're always checking in on our progress and deliverables so that we can detect any undesirable changes. When teams work in an agile way, a stakeholder review of their work is a necessary opportunity for growth and progress. The more inspections that take place, the more improvement a team experiences in their work. There's real value to be gained from deliberate inspection while you have a chance to change and improve. Inspection also propels our next pillar, adaptation. Adaptation means that we're continuously searching for ways to adjust our project, product, or processes to minimize any further deviation or issues. In Scrum, and in Agile as a whole for that matter, we embrace change so that we are always improving. So when we adapt, we change aspects that do not work or could be better. Transparency and inspection give Scrum teams the information and opportunity they need to identify improvements or changes. Although adaptation includes immediate fixes to problems, it may also be about implementing a change so future projects don't repeat past mistakes. Now you know the 3 pillars that act as a foundation to Scrum: transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Scrum teams work and behave according to 5 core values: commitment, courage, focus, openness, and respect. First, there's commitment. This means personally committing to achieving the goals of the Scrum team. For example, maybe a member of the team is struggling to overcome something that is blocking their work from getting done, like a new technology that is proving difficult to learn. In this case, another team member who is familiar with the technology can put their own work aside to step in and help their teammate learn the technology. The second value is courage. Scrum team members must have the courage to do the right thing and work on tough problems. In any project, there's a body of work that needs to get done. Some of the work will be relatively simple, and some will be complex, with many risks. An example of courage includes taking on a hard task that you know will require you to learn a new skill. Courage could mean telling your team that you're stuck and you need help. It might also mean calling out a negative behavior within the team to openly discuss and address the behavior. Demonstrating courage when responding to challenging situations can strengthen the team's resilience. Third, there's focus. This refers to everyone focusing on the necessary work within the sprint and the overall goals of the Scrum team. For example, a team member is working on a solution that involves a new technology and is very difficult. Allowing that team member to focus on that difficult yet necessary part of the solution is key, and their teammates help get it across the finish line. They know that focusing on this solution will speed up the team's progress in the long run, so it's worth the investment now. The Scrum Master, a role often assumed by the project manager, helps the team to focus on the sprint and product goals by facilitating their activities and events on a daily basis. The fourth value is openness. For Scrum to work, the team and its stakeholders agree to be open about all the work and the various challenges that come with performing the work. Openness is essential to a productive Scrum team. In order to gather data, team members must be willing to share their observations and experiences. If a team member runs into an issue within the project that they aren't sure how to fix, they should share it with the team. Another team member may have a very quick and easy solution, or at least valuable insight into some options on how to handle their issue. The fifth and final Scrum pillar is respect. Team members should respect the opinions, skills, and independence of their teammates. When you respect the independence and contributions of others and feel respected yourself, you're more likely to listen and hear any feedback. This is crucial in making the product or business as successful as possible. In order for a team to bring the 3 pillars of Scrum to life, they must act in accordance with the 5 Scrum values. For example, if a team aims to achieve transparency between themselves and their stakeholders, they need to be open to sharing information while still having the focus to share the most relevant information. For a team to effectively inspect their work and their processes, they must have courage to offer difficult feedback and have the mutual respect to really listen to what others have to say. For a team to adapt to their inspection results, they must have the courage to make changes and learn from them. They must also be committed to the goals of the team and follow through on the adaptation. Amazing! We've now covered the foundational pillars and values behind a Scrum team. We've also covered how the team supports Scrum values as they relate to Agile. Let's start by discussing the team's product vision and mission. Remember, Scrum is an Agile methodology, so it embodies the values and principles of Agile. One of the Agile principles states, build projects around motivated individuals, give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. The best way to motivate individuals is to give them a mission and product vision that they really care about, so they can feel good about working towards it. In Agile, a mission is a short statement that stays constant for your team throughout the process and gives them something to work toward. In addition to the mission, an Agile team will also set a product vision, making it clear what outcomes the team is responsible for and where your team's boundaries are. This may sound a bit like management speak, but I like to think about it this way. A mission tells me why we're doing the work. A product vision helps me imagine what the work will be like when we're done. Let's think about the mission and product vision with Office Green's new Virtual Verde project. Virtual Verde delivers plants to people's home offices. Office Green's business development department came up with a mission for the project. Virtual Verde improves users' health and happiness by bringing their at-home workspace to life. A product vision created by the Scrum team might be, Virtual Verde is a living marketplace that transforms the home office. These two statements are meant to inspire the team to deliver a delightful experience for Virtual Verde's users. Now let's discuss Scrum team roles. Every Scrum team consists of 3 defined roles: a Scrum Master, a Product Owner, and the development team. These roles work together to achieve the team's objectives and realize the mission and vision. The Product Owner is responsible for what a team builds. They also must ensure everyone understands the why. For example, the Virtual Verde team needs a Product Owner to capture and promote the great ideas coming from the team about the new service, which is delivering plants to people who work from home. The Product Owner's job is to build the right thing. The development team is responsible for how a team will deliver that product. For example, creating a new website is next on our to-do list, so customers can order plants for their home office. The development team is building websites, integrating billing systems, and fixing issues. The development team's job is to build the thing right. The Scrum Master is responsible for when a team will deliver value to its users. This role is roughly equivalent to the project manager role in traditional projects. The Virtual Verde Scrum Master is helping unblock the team from getting things done, such as finding out why a vendor was late, or helping the team prioritize issues from users, or organizing the demo for the CEO. The Scrum Master's job is to build the thing fast. Although there are clearly defined roles on a Scrum team, it's important to note that the entire team works together to achieve its goals. In other words, although there are specific expectations for each role, the development team may still contribute ideas for the what and the when of a project, while the product owner may contribute to discussions on the how of the project. As a collective, Scrum teams must exhibit a few specific skills. The Scrum Guide details these skills as follows. Scrum teams are cross-functional. When a Scrum team delivers something, it's the accomplishment of the entire team, no matter what function or organization they're in. On your Scrum team, you may have a software developer, a marketing specialist, quality assurance, and logistics expert. You may remember our soccer team analogy. When each player comes together to play their position, the end result is you have all you need to get the ball into the goal. Plus, these fresh perspectives add a lot of value to your project and to your users and business. Scrum teams are self-organizing. This may sound radically different from other organizations you've worked at before, where your managers dictate your tasks and request frequent updates. But because Scrum teams rely on those 5 values, commitment, courage, focus, openness, and respect, the Scrum team is able to work together to deliver amazing results in a more organic and flexible environment. Although teams are self-organizing, high-performing Scrum teams often have a manager who sits outside of the Scrum team and provides strategic leadership and individual career development without disrupting the self-organizing nature of Scrum. In my experience, if a manager feels compelled to start telling the team what to do and interferes with this self-organizing nature, the benefits of Scrum will begin to collapse. Now that you have a better understanding of what constitutes a Scrum team, we'll take you through the specifics of each role in the next few videos. We'll start with the traits of an effective Scrum Master. We've already mentioned that, in Scrum, the project manager is most likely playing the role of Scrum Master. So what exactly does the Scrum Master role entail? In this video, I'll further define what a Scrum Master is. Then I'll explain some of the differences and similarities between a Scrum Master and a project manager. The Scrum Master promotes and supports the Scrum process by helping everyone understand and implement Scrum. This includes its practices, rules, and values. My favorite way to describe the role of a Scrum Master is that they're responsible for helping the team be their very best. They can achieve this by coaching individuals on the team to manage external forces, as well as maximizing the team's internal potential. For example, let's say that Virtual Verde keeps getting error reports about the shopping cart feature on their new website page. The Scrum Master is there to notice the pattern and help the team find a better solution, rather than just fixing one error at a time. Maybe a special test plan is needed, or extra solution reviews for that feature are needed before changes are released. The Scrum Master's responsibilities include coaching team members on the Agile and Scrum practices, rules, and values, and helping to find ways to manage the product backlog effectively. The product backlog is the single authoritative source for things that a team works on. It contains all of the product features, product requirements, and activities associated with deliverables to achieve the goal of the project. The Scrum Master facilitates Scrum events such as sprint retrospectives, which happen at the end of every sprint. The Scrum Master helps the team remove any blockers to their progress, such as missing information or access to training or tools. The Scrum Master also prevents unhelpful interactions or interruptions coming from outside of the team. At this point, you may be wondering, how am I going to do all of that? Well, you probably already have many of the traits that Scrum Masters need to execute these tasks. A Scrum Master is required to be organized and supportive as they lead. They're also facilitators, coaches, and great communicators. Let's find out how these traits are helpful in a Scrum Master's role. Scrum Masters must have good organizational skills that help them to effectively organize project artifacts and manage Scrum events. Scrum Masters must be supportive leaders who focus on the needs of others and the needs of the team before their individual needs. They're not aiming to raise themselves up as a manager of the team who bosses people around. Rather, they're always asking questions like, how can I help? Or what would help the team go forward on this project? Scrum Masters facilitate productivity and collaboration. This is a critical skill to ensuring every team member's voice is heard and that their input is addressed. Scrum Masters must coach team members on Scrum theory and application. Coaching is a skill that encourages dialogue and discussion over simply giving the answers directly. Finally, Scrum Masters must be great communicators, particularly when it comes to stakeholders. Scrum Masters are experienced in engaging with diverse stakeholders who may have competing perspectives and styles. A Scrum Master who can relate to many different types of people is a powerful and essential teammate to have on a project. You're probably wondering if the role of a Scrum Master differs from a traditional project manager. The answer is yes. The two roles can be quite different, although they may be played by the same individual and require a similar skill set. As their primary responsibility, the Scrum Master acts as a facilitator and a coach to the Scrum team, and they need to make sure that they have enough time in the day to do this job first and foremost. If the company requires the management of many additional project management activities, then the team might hire project managers who own that more traditional project management-oriented work. That work may include things like budget management, risk spreadsheets, or Gantt charts. But as I've said, it's common for traditional project managers to take on the role of a Scrum Master. They rely heavily on things like decision-making, communicating, flexibility, organizational skills, and more, and the position of Scrum Master is a natural fit for many of us as project managers. Now you know a bit more about the pillars and the role of the Scrum Master. To recap, a Scrum Master must possess skills like organization, leadership, the ability to facilitate, coach, and manage stakeholders. And a Scrum Master can be quite different from a project manager in terms of their responsibilities. But the role may be played by the same individual since they require a similar skill set. A product owner is tasked with ensuring that the team is building the right product or service. An efficient Scrum team isn't useful to anyone if they're creating a product that users don't want. The product owner ensures that the team is building the right thing. A product owner is responsible for continuously maximizing the value of the product delivered by the Scrum team. Their key activity is acting as the voice of the customer within the team. They represent and express this voice through their ownership of the product backlog. As a quick reminder, the product backlog is the single authoritative source for things that a Scrum team works on to achieve the project goal. The product owner's responsibilities also include helping the Scrum team understand why their work matters within the overall goal and mission. They also prioritize the product backlog to optimize the delivery of goals and deliver value to customers. The product owner ensures that the product backlog is visible and transparent to all. And finally, they're responsible for making sure that the product or service fulfills the customer's needs. Phew, that's a lot. So how do product owners accomplish all of that? They rely on their key character traits. A product owner's role requires them to be customer-focused, so they must understand a customer's needs and the industry of their business extremely well. Product owners also have to be decisive, great communicators, and understand both sides of the issue, so they can defend their decisions to the team. They must be flexible, and open to new information that could generate a profitable change for the team. They also have to be optimistic and positive, especially since they're delivering the product vision to the team, and they must inspire the team to believe in their mission. Product owners also have to be available. The iterative nature of Scrum means that the team needs the product owner to help inspect, adapt, and plan the next iteration on a regular basis. And finally, they must be collaborative. Product owners will have to work with their team to ensure that the customer's needs are met, and that will require meeting with and working alongside several stakeholders. So as you may have noticed, the product owners are responsible for a lot of the project, just like the Scrum Master. Let's imagine an example of how a product owner will work within Virtual Verde. For example, let's say that the Virtual Verde product owner told the development team that they need to work on the following features in this order: flower arrangements, potted succulents, large potted plants, and herb gardens. When the development team reviews the list, they tell the product owner that herb gardens originally sounded difficult to deliver because they're considered regulated food items. But in reality, the vendor specialist on the development team knows that herb gardens are actually way easier than we thought because our vendor already has many herb gardens in stock. So the development team suggests focusing on herb gardens first. A product owner who is flexible and customer-focused will adjust the priorities based on this new information. So to recap, we discussed that a product owner acts as the voice of the customer and is customer-focused, decisive, flexible, optimistic, available, and collaborative. Next up, we'll discuss the role and traits of the development team. The development team is made up of the people who do the work to build the product. The size of the team ranges from 3 to 9 people. This ensures that the team is small enough to remain nimble, but large enough to complete significant work within each sprint. Getting the team size just right is important. Smaller teams can struggle with diversity of skills and ideas, while larger teams may run into issues where there are too many opinions and streams of communication. The development team should be cross-functional, so they're capable of building the product or service in-house, since the team has all of the required skills. The development team also owns their processes and structures, so they have to be self-organizing and can't rely on others to tell them how to organize. They continuously operate as a team rather than individuals, and they support each other in reaching the team's goals. Lastly, the development team acknowledges that the best products emerge from teams who are customer-oriented and focus on the user when building their products. Many Scrum teams prefer to be co-located, meaning they work alongside each other in the same physical space. Many believe the team delivers higher quality work and improves faster if they are co-located. But this isn't always possible for every team. Let's take a look at an example. Let's say that the Virtual Verde team discovers an issue with one of their plant vendors. They can't make the holiday rush due to some product quality issues. The quality assurance specialist on the team can fly across the country and help the vendor, but that means they won't be available to complete their assigned tasks. If the team is co-located, they can quickly huddle in a conference room and write out some ideas to either get the work done or rearrange the work so this doesn't impact the sprint goals. If they don't sit together or work in different time zones, this collaboration is a bit harder, has to be done over phone or email, or you'll have to coordinate the schedules for a meeting, and you might have to come up with workarounds that ultimately lead to overall project delays. On the flip side, we live in a world where working virtually is possible. So if the quality assurance specialist needs to be on a call, they can dial in or join via video conferencing platform like Zoom or Skype. Both co-locating and working virtually has its benefits and drawbacks, so make sure to use whichever method is best for your team. At this point, we've covered each role within a Scrum team. A product owner is responsible for meeting customers' needs, also known as building the right thing. A development team is responsible for creating the product, also known as building the thing right. The Scrum Master is responsible for improving efficiency, also known as building the thing fast. We know that each role is vitally important to achieving the goals of a Scrum project. No individual is more or less important than the others. They all work together as a team to create value for their users and customers.
Congratulations on finishing this video in the Google Project Management Certificate. Access the full learning experience, including job search help, and start to earn your official certificate by clicking on the icon. To view the next course in this video, click here and subscribe to our channel to learn more from Google Career Certificates.